Hi there and welcome to the CyberHut TV vendor introduction series. My name is Simon Moffat. I'm founder and analyst at the CyberHut. And in our vendor introduction series, I get to interview some leading identity security experts and founders across all around the globe to understand a little bit more around their mission and vision to solve some of our complicated industry problems. And I'm absolutely thrilled to have Brooke from SecureAuth with me. Brooke, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Simon. Glad to be here.
The way this works, for those who have not seen these little episodes before, I essentially get to ask our very important guest three very important questions. We start off really with the basic one, really. What is the problem which you guys are trying to solve in the market, Brooke?
So in general, and broadly, we offer technology that helps customers balance the increasing need for security with the ever-increasing demand for better experiences and lower friction. And we do this across the workforce landscape for SSO portals and VPNs and VDIs and, all that sort of thing. But we are increasingly focused on the area of helping businesses who are looking to achieve this balance when their customers are not necessarily direct customers, but other enterprises that provide services to their end customers. So like B2B2C type or partner type, SIAM use cases. The problem, I guess, that businesses run into is they end up with a suboptimal approach and or have to build their own SIAM, setup in-house, and neither of these really benefit the business. So that's kind of the problem that we're addressing.
I love that. Again, it's that conflict, isn't it, as you say, between usability and security. They've always been, I guess, at odds with each other. Certainly at different ends of the spectrum. And I think now, as you described, the SIAM space is becoming, it's everywhere, first of all, but it is becoming subtly more complex with these B2B to X relationships. Everybody expects usability, don't they, these days, regardless of what they're doing, and always got to be wrapped in with this security play there as well. So that sort of leads me into the sort of next question, really, is why is this becoming a problem now? Is it just a change in use cases, a change in demand for these types of technologies? Or is it also maybe the legacy identity platforms are just not able to deliver that usability and security together?
I think it's both. I mean, from a business perspective, things have evolved. The businesses of today are not built from the ground up, right? You achieve rapid time to market and optimal efficiency by focusing on what you're great at, and you use third-party tools and services that are provided by a diverse ecosystem of partners and suppliers. So, the example is like if you need to send an SMS message, you're not going to build a telco interface. You're going to use Twilio or something like that, right? It doesn't make sense to do the development. And if you look at almost every business today with any kind of customer-facing online presence, they either have this problem now or they're spending too much, money building their own SIAM software, or they're using a solution like ours to solve it, right? I mean, it has to be solved. And the bottom line is that as the demand for better experiences gets more intense and security requirements become more important from a regulatory perspective, as well as just, customers expect to be safe and their identity to be safeguarded online, it's a problem that has to be addressed.
I love that. You're right, it does have to be addressed, isn't it? I love that. There's lots of technology which is maybe nice to have, or that the compelling event isn't always mature enough. But when you talk about the B2C space, these problems do have to be solved because it's revenue generating technology. It's technology to allow the business to do more, sell more, deliver products and services online. So it's not something which can be ignored for too long, I don't think, which sort of wraps up into the third and final question ultimately is why are you guys best placed? What's your sort of secret sauce, if you like, to tackle some of these problems?
So there are three key components or key aspects to our offering that makes it well placed to solve the problem. The first one, and probably the most important from a functional perspective, is our sub-tenancy model. So we offer a public SaaS piece of software, but you can also run it yourself. And even within your own instance of it, or within a publicly available SaaS tenant, such as like even a free trial, right? you can create organizations beneath your organization, and each of those has its own subdelegation ability to control the IDPs that you're signing people in with, the user store if you want to store user information yourself, the policies that are used to provide access controls to applications and APIs, and then the branding, right, for what does the theme look like when you hit the service. And so what this gives you is the ability to give, your own experience to your users, but within the confines of the downstream service provider that's actually, giving you the scaffolding and the APIs that you're using. The second thing is flexibility, and this kind of speaks to the branding to a certain degree, but it's not just about making the pages look and feel a certain way. It's being able to create your own user journey. So two companies that are, providing a similar service, or at least using a similar service to provide their value to their customers, can actually arrange things the way that they want to. And as long as they're within the security confines of the master tenant, then they're able to kind of define what the user journey looks like. Another part of or aspect of flexibility would be that we can run this system as SaaS. As I said, we're in 3 different regions in Europe, US, and Australia today. We're expanding pretty rapidly to other regions, and you can run it on premise yourself or in your own IaaS infrastructure, or you can use it in hybrid. And we don't really charge separately for that. You're paying for overall consumption across the platform. And the last thing is scalability. So what's really important, especially for some of these businesses that are newer, is that they can start efficiently and inexpensively consuming the service and kind of build their business. And as they get more successful and they grow, they don't need to re-platform, because our system at a really efficient and automatically scaling rate will scale up into the hundreds of thousands of transactions per second without even breaking a sweat. So we have customers that are, they have 2 employees and 500 public customers, and then we have other customers that are major retailers with 25 million users, and they're all using the same infrastructure. It's able to scale up with them. So those are really the 3 key points.
I love that. And it's, I think in the external sort of B2C space, you're absolutely right. You often get these strange combinations of maybe a small number of employees, but a huge, vast number of externals. And the other thing I think is really important on scale is sometimes with external projects, you're not quite sure how big it's going to get. In the sort of workforce space, you sort of know how many members of staff you have and the turnover of staff, etc. But in the external world, you may have a killer app, for example, or you may not really understand the uptake in a particular geography or a particular service. So I think flexibility and scale is really, really powerful, because as you said, not every project will look and feel the same. Certainly will have different enrollment and usage characteristics as well. So I think that's a really thought out, really complex way of tackling some of those issues. I do think the B2C space is just getting bigger and bigger, and that B2B to X area does produce some really subtle complexity. So Brock, thank you for taking a little bit of time out there to understand a little bit more about how you guys are solving some of those key challenges. This has been another episode in our vendor introduction series. Thank you to Brock, thank you to watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon.